going back to Matty, all of those, like when you look at Matty, Tony, and Jeff, they've all gone down the same path. So I always think there's clues in there. You know, they've all been fighters. They've all led a life that they probably look back on now and think, fucking hell.
I was a bit mad back in the day.
Get a bit closer to that mind, man.
A bit like that, yeah? Cool.
Yeah. They're my favourite people.
They seem to have mellowed, which I think everybody does when you get a little bit older, don't they?
Well, you're the same age as me, aren't you?
How old are you?
I'll be 38 next week.
I've just turned 39.
30, not just, yeah.
Just literally Sunday.
It's a weird age.
You're nearly 40. Everyone calls you 40. But it is a weird age. I think, like, I don't know.
I'll do it to myself, though. I'll say, like I just said to you then, I'll be 38 next week. I'm already eyeing up 40.
Yeah, people keep telling me I look a lot younger, so I'm taking that.
It's because they're scared of you.
I don't know about that.
No, you do, to be fair.
I don't know about that, but
you do. What do you think's the biggest lesson, like, that you take with you now as a 39-year-old? I mean, there's loads, right? But, like, life feels different.
There's too many lessons. Would have took more chances. I would have did things a lot different. I probably would, I don't know, we can all look back. It's not regrets, but I would have applied myself more.
See, when people say to me, I've got no regrets, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I've got a few regrets. I don't even know if you want to call them regrets, just things I would have done different.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say regrets.
I don't frame them as a negative, though, the regrets that I've got. Like, when people say, "Oh, regret," it's like it's life, isn't it? Are you ever going to go through your life and not looking back, thinking you wish you'd done things
I was watching someone the other day, and I can't remember the way she said it, but she was basically saying, had she not made them mistakes, she wouldn't have become the person she is today, or wouldn't have learned the lessons she'd learned today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think totally, with lessons you should learn. If you don't learn, you're going to keep messing up.
They keep repeating, don't they?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So going back to that thing that you said about applying yourself, what areas?
Boxing.
Yeah. Why boxing?
Because it was the biggest part of my life.
Yeah.
Everything else was and has been good in my life. My family, I have no regrets there. I wouldn't have done anything different there. My kids, my wife, and I wouldn't have done anything different there. But boxing, I just think, although I applied myself 100%. Did I? I don't know. You look back and you think, I never made it as far as I thought I could. So obviously I should have done something different.
Yeah.
So I think I should have done something. I should have done things to be a little bit more like for me. Like I train in Red Corner. Maybe I should have went to a different gym and put myself in a bigger pond where I would have learned a little bit more, not from my coaches, from the fighters we had around in that respect.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's a hard question to answer. Did I do my best?
It's a very hard question. I did do my best, but like we all have obstacles thrown at us. Mine was kids, money, work, all that. So, but it's very hard. I'm a big family man. I didn't want to go away from my kids to train, although a lot of fighters do, and I realise now why they do. Because, obviously my wife did a lot for me and she took care of the kids and let me have a sleep. And I used to go and stay at her mum's when I was in camp, sometimes as my career went on. But when I went away for little training camps, like with Barry McGuigan, Carl Frampton, we'd have a week, and the difference that week made, being away from home, being in a permanent, even though it was only for a week, a permanent training camp, the results was tenfold.
Yeah.
Rather than being at home, be doing PTs in between, the difference was massive.
Yeah, it's pro level, isn't it?
Massive.
It's pro level. What stops you, like, apart from like the kids, obviously? What's the determining factor between whether you go and do that full time for a fight?
Money,
yeah.
Unless you have sponsorship, paying for your house or wherever you're staying, your food, your bills at home in terms of like, your normal bills and your kids. If you haven't got sponsorship, you can't just go and train somewhere for 8 weeks for a training camp, can you?
What brings about sponsorship then? Is this like you going doing the hustle and bustle, or is it down to luck? Is it down to what they see in the fighter?
Well, first and foremost, probably what they see in the fighter, and you have to be good enough. But you need backing. So if that's someone you know, if you could reach out to someone. I've never been good with social media, so, you know, I never really sold myself well. You know, people who are good on social media can sell themselves well and get a lot of viewings, which will attract people. Oh, well, he's a good fighter. He'd be worth sponsoring. You know, I had some good sponsorship from good people, but not enough to go away on a training camp. Just to, that's the wrong word, but like they helped me like have maybe a week off, 2 weeks off, the last 2 weeks of training camp. But I'd almost always, there was only a couple of training camps where I had a full training camp without work.
Yeah, so when I see you stepping into the ring with beasts like Luke Campbell, like I bet he's not doing PT in between, right?
Well, definitely not. He was out in Miami training for 12 weeks. I got that call at 24 hours notice.
Yeah, you took that fight on that.
I'm in better shape now than when I fought Luke Campbell. And that's saying something. That's saying something, do you know what I mean?
He was a big guy as well, man.
It was massive.
Yeah, big reach, long arms, good fighter, technically.
Absolutely quality. Olympic gold medalist. He was.
Yeah.
If someone would have said to me before I took that fight, what's your worst nightmare? Who's your worst opponent that you'd fight? And I'd say a tall, rangy southpaw who can box. And I was lying in the hotel in the room at night on my own before the fight. Literally, I was on my own. I was thinking, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you haven't even trained. You've done no sparring. You've had no pad work. You haven't done a run. Like, you're a stone. I came in just over a stone and a half heavier than what you'd normally fight at. Like, they called me on Thursday, my manager, and he was like, do you want to fight Saturday? But you got to weigh in tomorrow. I said, who's it against? He told me. I was off. Well, for how much first? I want a lot of money for this. I don't think I got enough for it anyway. But then I said, I got no chance. I goes, I'm well heavy. He said, what are you? I said, let me go and weigh myself. Went upstairs, 11 stone. Called him down and told him it's 11. He said, all right, what can you be by tomorrow? I said, 10 and a half. He's like, okay, let me put it to him. So he went, put it to him, come back. They said, yeah, they take it. Because they know I'm a small super featherweight who's a stone and a bit overweight. So they're like, yeah, we'll take it. I was like, can you get a bit more money for me? They couldn't. So took it the next day, got the train down to London, weighed in. And I remember like going to the weigh-in, like before the weigh-in, I was like in the mirror trying to hold my belly in, just like when I got there I was like, forget it. Did the face to face, and he was looking at me like he wanted to kill me. I was thinking, I'm doing you a favour here, mate. I've stepped in, you know, like you can at least smile. But yeah, my manager at the time said to me, how'd you see the fight going? I was like, I'll be alright until my legs go. And my legs went in the second round, so it weren't good. It weren't good at all.
What were you hoping from that fight? Like,
I did nothing. I did it for money.
Right.
I did it for money.
But surely, like, if you hadn't have took that fight, this is what I mean. Regret will live everywhere, won't it? So if you'd have not took the fight, right, will you never always look back and go, what if I'd have caught him?
Oh, 100%.
What if I'd have caught him?
1,000,000%. And that's the thing, like, without sounding trying to be big-headed, I've always been quite tough. So I thought, even though I wasn't fit, and I didn't know, because previous to that fight, I had a fight in Coventry, and I thought, like, he was a bit better than a journeyman, but he was a journeyman who'd fought everybody, but he had caused a few upsets. So I thought, I trained for that fight. My plan was to have that fight, just be in a gym all year round. This is another regret. I used to get in shape, have a fight, a week or two out of the gym, put on a lot of weight, and then start all over again. So I thought, this year, I'm going to have this fight, and I want to be in shape all year round. I used to go sparring, but I'd be out of shape sparring, so it was never the best me. So that is one of my... I wish I was in shape more, stayed a bit more disciplined outside of a training camp. So I lost that fight. I don't believe I lost it, but I lost it. I fell out of love with boxing. I was like, I've had enough. Started drinking a bit too much on the weekend. I got really heavy. There was a picture out there somewhere. Was at camping. I just look like a little Buddha. Honestly, I've got a big belly on me. It's not good. If I could get the picture, I'd show you. I can't find it. It's disappeared. And that's when I got the call for the fight. So I hadn't even been in the gym for 2 months. But that's a great. If I had been in the gym and I stayed in shape and I stayed well, I would have got the call. They still would have took the fight. And I'm not saying I'd beat him, but I would have put a better performance and give a better credit of himself. Do you know what I mean? Rather than going on TV on the undercard, David Hay, Tony Bellew, looking like a little porky.
Yeah, it was a big fight, man.
It was a massive fight.
It was.
And I look back now and like that's not one of my regrets because I fought Luke Campbell. Like as out of shape as I was, they rang me. So if I wasn't good enough, or be able to at least stand up to him, they wouldn't have done it.
No, absolutely. I mean, I work with a lot of guys and they can handle failure, but what really hurts them is when they don't feel like they've done their best or given their best. And I guess boxing is one of those sports where, you can get a call the night before and you're fighting an Olympian. Like, there's not many sports. Well, there's no other sport. I can't think of one anyway.
No, I don't.
Every other team has preparation now. They know, they know the fixture list. Boxing. Do you feel in boxing like there's certain boxers that are like almost fed to the lions? Like it's like
100%.
Yeah.
So again, that was probably me for that fight. They don't really care about me. My managers at the time, or whether they're at the time or not, they would have made some money. They would have made money. It looks good on them because someone's called them and they've helped save that show or save Luke Campbell's fight. No one expected me to win. Nobody. Even my manager was like, Matt Macklin come down because he was obviously part of MTK at the time, and he knew I wasn't going to win. And he wasn't. When we went up there, he wasn't. We went for some food after the weigh, and he wasn't even going to say, "Hey, you've got a chance." He said, "Look, go in there, be as safe as you can, collect your money." So he knew I wasn't going to win. He wasn't expecting me to win. No one's expecting me to win.
What about you?
I'm going to be realistic. I didn't think I'd win.
Do you have little thoughts crossing your mind I might catch him?
Yeah, and he showed me that respect in there in terms of not to stand there. Because I think it was in the second round I thought, I've just got to get close. If I can land, I could hurt him.
Because you got a reputation as a puncher, right?
I mean, I wouldn't say I was a puncher.
Big hands.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. My record doesn't say I'm a puncher.
Okay, yeah.
But I hit hard enough to get your respect. So I thought, right, I'm just going to, I need to get close. And his trainer at the time, Jorge Rubio, he was out who used to train out in Miami with. I thought, right, I'm just going to press him. The minute I pressed him, he backed up. He made me use my legs. He's clever. He's good at what he did. The minute he did that, my legs started draining. And he's known for his body shock. He's like looping left uppercut to the body. He landed that a few times. I was kind of hoping it would land and hurt me and drop me, but it didn't. It didn't hurt, and he dropped me twice. Because when you have a training camp, you do your sparring, you get conditioned. So the punches don't hurt once you've had a training camp. I had none of that. So he hit me, he dropped me. Sound. When I look back, it's horrible because he almost decapitates my head. And then I got dropped in the fourth round, so he dropped me twice. So me and Glenn, we was like later on back at the hotel. He was like, I can't believe you got up from that second knockdown. I said, what, he dropped me twice? He went, you're joking, ain't you? I said, can't remember a thing. I don't remember it. Do not remember it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean,
it was scary, and I literally have no recollection of it.
Because he told me fight Canelo, right? Is that right?
No, he went and fought. So he fought me, and then he had, I think it was 1 or 2 fights after that, and then he fought Gervonta Davis.
Gervonta Davis. Okay.
No, I'm lying. That was Liam Walsh.
Liam Walsh did, yeah.
Yeah, he fought Lomachenko.
Ah, okay.
That's it, Lomachenko.
Yeah, so you're in there with the elite.
Yeah. So and he gave Lomachenko a great fight, 12 round. It was a great fight. He got dropped by him, but it was 12 rounds. He went 12 rounds with one of the undisputed, flipping pound for pound best in the world, on the planet.
Yeah. How much of your time is spent once the fight's over? Do you move on quite quickly, or do you sit? Do you watch? Do you think? Do you ponder? Do you think, what could I do better? How much of your time is taken up in reflection on the fight?
With that fight, not a lot, because I was out of shape. It was never a fight that was planned. I never had a training camp which I tried things, trained for, and failed in that sense. It was a last minute call up. Again, and no shame, we were struggling as a family. That money that I got from that fight helped us out a little bit. I did it for the family. I didn't, I had no gain of it. I knew what I was going into. I knew it was going to be a dangerous fight. Like I said, I was sitting in the hotel room on my own at night thinking, mate, you're mad. When it actually dawned on me, I'm like, you're a silly man.
Is it pure fear at that point?
It wasn't pure fear. It was just like, oh, you silly man. And one of the guys after, so sometimes, depending on how much money you get paid cash. So, and then they give the rest. They send the rest in your bank details after. So we went backstage after. Bearing in mind, I was walking like I was really drunk because of the concussion. And we went back, and there was one of the guys from Matchroom. He was like, "Are you all right?" I was like, "I'm all right." And he was fuming. He said, "You shouldn't have been in there with him." Before he fought me, he fought Jorge Linares, which is a world-class fighter again. And then he's come down to 5 minutes 6. Where he said, "It's wrong." He goes, "How can he do that? I'm a British level fighter. He's a world level fighter." He said it was right, and it is wrong. It's how people get hurt, especially with no training camp, just so he gets to fight. That's the dangerous side of boxing that people don't see. The same with other fights. Let's say, for instance, you train for a fight, but you get a late call up. Let's say Liam Walsh. We'll go quickly on to Liam Walsh. I was mandatory challenger. Fought two unbeaten fighters for British title eliminators. Should have been a fair fight. He had a 12-week camp out in Tenerife. I got 4 weeks notice. I was on holiday with the missus and kids. Right, you're fighting in 4 weeks. If you don't fight, you lose your chance. I was like, how's that fair? But no one watching that fight on Box Nation that night thought, he's had 12 weeks, he's had 4 weeks. They just see me getting beat.
Yeah, of course. People forget that. Even if you know that. Like when the Luke Campbell fight started, I watched that fight. Like, you forget everything that's gone.
Yeah.
At that moment, it's just you two fighting.
Yeah.
And that's it. And people,
that's it.
And it's in your head. It's like, if you're not inside of what's going on, it's a 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
You don't see.
What they've had, what they haven't had. You don't see that.
Nah. Or you choose not to. Like, I knew a bit of the information. I knew you took it, but I'm still there as a fan watching it. Thinking it's Troy versus Luke Campbell.
And obviously people who know me and some who don't like me and some who like me might have hoped I win and hope I caught that lucky punch.
Of course.
And even when I was in there, like, I was hoping I'll do it. When I'm in there, I'm thinking, you just got to land one.
Yeah.
So there's that little bit of hope. And as a fighter's spirit, listen, even though I knew I wouldn't win that fight, like you said earlier, was a little bit of that thought, if I just catch him 100%, I'm like, all I've got to do is land on you. Do you know what I mean? And even when he hit me, like, when he dropped me at the end of the second round, it's a horrible knockdown. Horrible. But I got back up. I had pins and needles. It was a good job I was in my corner. I had pins and needles in both hands, down to my fingers, down to my feet, my head. I've never had it before. And, like, Glenn was like, "You're right, you're right." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sound." But I weren't. But that's just a fighter's mentality. It's a fighter's spirit. You don't go there to quit. I could have easily not gone back out, collected my money, and went home. But I still went out for another 3 rounds.
Where's this fighter's spirit come from then? Is this something you've like developed in your younger years, or is this something you were handed as a gift when you were born?
I don't know. It's definitely not from my younger years because I didn't start boxing until I was 21.
Yeah.
So I started when I was 21. Well, I probably started training with Glenn when I was about 19, 20. He had a little room down at the Future Fitness, down at the Flex.
Yeah.
So he used to go up there, one-to-one session a week. And he said, "I think you've got something, but you need to join an amateur club for you to start fighting." So I went and joined Capital, joined there. I had my first fight at 21. And from then, I remember having my first spar. So he was like, "I'm 21-year-old. Obviously not a big lad, small 21-year-old. He was like, "You're going to go and spar that lad in there." And he was 16. I thought, he's 16. So no problem. Man, he battered me. He beat me. He hit so hard. Didn't lay a glove on him, and he battered me. It was from that moment then I thought, never judge a book. That's when I kind of first thought, right, this is going to be a bit harder than I thought. But that's where my toughness developed from, I think. Like, me being shorter reach than everyone that I got in with, I took a bit more punishment during sparring. So luckily, I was blessed with a good chin, half decent chin, I think. that's where and you know, so there was something about boxing. I started late. I wish I started earlier, but I'd never give up. If you drop me, I'm gonna get back up. So I don't know. I think it's just built in me.
Because weren't you involved in like the dancing game before?
Yes. Well, I'd say involved. When I was at school, there was a dance teacher, and for some reason, one of my friends at the time, well, he wasn't even my friend till we started dancing, but he was like, come and do it. It was like street dancing, break dancing. So I started doing that, danced for a little group, and then went to a little dance school after. We were only 2 boys in there, by the way. It was took some stick. But because one of the papers at one time called me Twinkle Toes. I've had the worst names given to me by the press ever. Terrifying Troy. Barry McGuigan gave me that one.
Yeah, I've got that one written down.
Yeah, but I'm sure you have. Yeah. I've tried to ditch that. I've tried to ditch that name since 2009 when I had my pro debut, and it stuck with me.
Yeah. Well, the translation was, I was wondering whether that footwork, that ability to move through the dancing.
I don't know. I think so. Maybe I did taekwondo as a younger kid. My dad used to take me karate, taekwondo. So I don't know if it was that. If we're talking about the footwork from Glenn Smith, you know, like we when I first started with Glenn, Big P was down one end of the room, Glenn was up the other end of the room. There were mirrors. He had it in the mirror, just literally drilling technique. A lot of the amateurs back then, when I was amateur, they never did that kind of work. They would just go there, 6 rounds in a bag, 6 rounds of shadow, 6 rounds of skipping. Where Glenn, he broke it down, footwork. Till you've got that footwork, we're not moving on to the jab. Once you've got the jab, then we move on to the straight right. Once that, so he's meticulous with what he did, and it was. Nowadays, a lot of lads wouldn't do that because of social media. I think they want to put videos up on doing fancy combinations.
Yeah, like Ryan Garcia kind of stuff.
Yeah, they just want to see the fancy stuff, but to be able to do that fancy stuff, and especially pull that off in a fight, you got to do the basics first. You got to do them basics, and that takes hours and hours of drilling and being boring until you can get that good to get yourself into range to try and pull them fancy stuff off.
I think that's the same for any area of life or any skill, hobby, craft that you want to be good at. Social media has a brilliant way of skipping all the stuff in the middle and showing the outcome. Same as business, man. Like, you know, we see the successful business people, but inside of that gap is a lot of stuff that people don't really want to do. Yeah,
exactly. They don't want to do. They just like the process, the journey, if you want to call it. They just want the outcome. Almost like a boxing fight, you know, like you go for the training camp, you have your first professional fight, then let's say, for instance, you maybe fight for a British title or a world title. People only see the end product. They don't see what you go through, in a training camp. They just see you on the night, Troy done that, he's alright at that. Yeah. They don't see the sacrifices, the starving, the making weight, you know.
So what did you pick that route? So if I mean, you're an experienced fighter. I think you had, was it what, 32?
32 fights, yeah.
Yeah. So after a while, you come to terms with the fact that all those things, right? Sacrifice, effort, pain, suffering, victory. Like, what makes you get in a ring and fight and continue to fight, even when the sport might be deemed unfair?
I don't know what it was with me. I went to my friend who was hanging around with this lad, best friend, still my best friend. So he had cable, Sky, but cable back in them days. He was like, right, come down my house tonight. There's a guy boxing on Sky, Ricky Hatton. I was like, yeah, sound. Went down. I don't know who he's fighting, but the hairs just stood up in the back of my neck, and I thought, I can do that. There was something about it. So the next day, went down the gym. That's when I met Glenn, but he was fully booked. But my mum and dad were good friends with Richie Everett's mum and dad. And so growing up, my dad and mum used to say to me, right, I'm going to get you in with Richie, he'll teach you to box. I was about 13, 14 at the time. Yeah, please, please, please. It never happened. I did taekwondo instead. But when I watched Ricky Hatton that night, I said, I can do that. So I went down the gym. Glenn was fully booked, but he took my number. And then a couple of months later, rang me, do you still want to train? And my dad said to me at the time, because I'd done taekwondo, I'd done karate, I'd done football. I said, Dad, I'm going to start boxing. And he was like, let's see how long this phase lasts for then. And there was just something with boxing. It's just, it was like I've always wanted to do it, although I never always wanted to do it because I never even spoke about it really, apart from my mum and dad. They'd see Richie's mum and dad and they'd be like, yeah, I spoke to him, I'm going to get you training with him. But it weren't like a passion. I'd watch Rocky, want to go and train in the back garden, do a little bit of shadow boxing, but it's not like I said, like, when I was 13, 14, I want to be a boxer. I never wanted to be a boxer. But the minute I started, I was just hooked. And I just wanted to fight. And once I had my first amateur fight, knocked the lad out in, I think, 1 minute 25 seconds. And that was it. The buzz, the training, I loved every bit of it. The training I loved a lot. Maybe some guys didn't like training. I love training. Especially in Red Corner when all of us, me, Joseph, there was James Flynn, James Mahern, Neil Simpson, Baz Carey, Michael Green. There was loads of us. It was such a good buzz, and I buzzed off that, and I'd love to go back and do it all again. I really would.
Making me want to fucking fight
Man,
now,
I'm
mate.
telling you. It's, I don't know. They call it the boxing bug. Once you get it, you get it.
Yeah, for some rare individuals. For me, it was as soon as I found out the reality of getting punched in the face. I've been punched by you in the face. That hurt. Bastard, I forgot that one.
I forgot
Glenn
about
Smith
that. I do apologise.
Smashed my nose in before.
Yeah, Glenn's threw a few shots, and he's out of order.
Yeah, well, you can tell him that. I'm not telling him.
I'll tell you, he's gonna hear it.
Obviously, I've
Glenn.
messed about with Matty Evans, so he's hurt me a few times.
Yeah. I
don't
watched
like
that spar once. Or was it against Glenn, the one I watched? Did
Glenn was
skills
the
well.
one we charity boxed.
That's it.
It didn't feel very charitable in the ring, though.
Yeah,
The weird thing was, mate, like the Luke Campbell, part of me, a stupid part of me thought, oh, I could dodge some of his punches. I can look good.
Yeah.
Watching that, it looked terrible.
But it's a different reality in there.
That's what I mean. You get humbled.
Yeah.
One of my clients started boxing the other day. Said, Alex, I thought I was hard.
Yeah.
I suddenly realised I'm not hard.
Yeah.
Now, boxing for me, I love the discipline. I love the training. But going in the ring and getting punched in the face was too far for me.
Yeah.
I hated it.
So a lot of people, obviously I've taught boxing for many years as well. People want to box. They see it on the TV. Excuse me. They see it on the TV, and obviously they don't feel what that fighter's feeling, and they think, well, obviously he's took punches for 12 rounds. It doesn't hurt. So a lot of people, they come, they do the pad work, and then they get punched in the face. And then all of a sudden it's, this ain't for me. It's not for me. So like my young lad now, he's just turned 15. He wants to start boxing. He's quit football, and I've not pushed him whatsoever. It's all him. And people say, oh, how do you reckon he'll do it? I say, I don't know. Until he spars, until he gets punched in the face, nobody's going to know. Because he might like the idea of it, which a lot of people do. They like the idea of saying, I'm going to be a boxer, or I'm going to have a white collar fight, or a charity fight, or an amateur fight, or even try and turn professional. But as soon as you get punched, your mind frame is going to change.
Yeah, and I should probably reflect on the other side. There is some incredibly addictive parts about boxing too. So I remember the first time ever I slipped to punch well, and without thinking, just counter punched this.
Yeah.
And it suddenly realised to me, like, oh, my training took over.
Yeah.
And mate, it was beautifully timed. I've probably only done it a handful of times. But you just dodge and punch. And the other guy's like, fucking hell. That was so addictive because I could see myself getting better at something that I'd spent years doing.
Yeah.
And that was addictive. Any sport where or anything in life where you can see yourself getting better becomes addictive. And
with boxing, I say this when I'm training people, like, you can try 100 times and it not come off. And then all the 101st time you try it comes off. And like you say, I've got it.
The difference is, so I love writing, but writing, I'm not getting punched in the face whilst I'm learning. So the thing with boxing is, like, when I was sparring, I'd have a bloody nose one week, bashed ears the next, sore jaw the week after. So the way to learn how to not get hit is often by getting hit.
Yeah.
So if you're up for that,
do you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's one of those sports. It's a
very hard sport, and like the old saying, you don't play boxing.
No.
You know, it's a great saying, and I say this to everybody that I train and have trained over the years. I say, unfortunately, there's only one way you learn in boxing, and that's the hard way. Like you've just said, getting hit. So you can get hit. You get hit with that right hand over the top. Yeah, you're gonna get hit. You don't change what you've just done to get hit in terms of counter that, block that, slip it, weave, step back. You're going to keep getting hit. So you've got to learn. If you don't learn quickly, you're going to keep getting hit.
The biggest buzz after fighting Glenn was, because I went into that with some real mental fucking struggles at the time. it's nice when even when you get beat up a bit, like you still survive.
Yeah.
And you're still alive, and you come out and you're covered in blood, and you look in the mirror, and it's quite appealing. You're like, yeah, I've been smashed to fuck, but I'm still standing. You know, I'm still alive.
It maybe gives your maybe not confidence, maybe if that's the wrong word, but you've been through something, you've survived, you did well, and the old saying, "What doesn't break you makes you stronger." And them kind of spars there do genuinely make you stronger because you've just really proved to yourself, well, I just took all that, and I'm still all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking back on your career, then, like how if you had to summarize it, like how successful was it for you, in your opinion?
I don't know. My main goal, all I want to do is become British champion. That would have been my dream. If I became British champion, I'd be the happiest man alive. I fought for that, so I nearly did it. You know, a kid who didn't start boxing until he was 21 with no what's the word, ambition to box as a child, and then all of a sudden wanted to box. My main goal was to become British champion. I failed at that, but I still fought for it. I fought for a British and Commonwealth title. I had a conversation with Tony this morning. He's like, Troy, you look back, you can say to yourself, look, you fought for it. You know, you got that far. And I did get that far. I came up short, and I suppose it's a bitterness, really, because I never had a fair shout at it. If I had had a fair go and I lost, sound. But I had 4 weeks' notice. So it wasn't fair. But then it goes back to, well, that's my fault, because you're a professional fighter, you should have been in shape anyway.
So where's the real disappointment lie then? Do you have a harshness towards yourself where you think, I should have fucking stayed in shape? Should have stayed in shape.
Yeah, of course. But like most people, we like to blame other people, don't we?
It's easier. Yeah.
It's easier. So yeah, I should have been in shape, but at the same time, I should have had a fair go. But
why didn't you stay in shape then? Like, if that had happened like a few times.
Oh, I'm one of them fighters, and again, this is maybe just passing the blame, but I'm one of them fighters that if I didn't have a fight day, I find it hard to be in the gym and be in shape, because when I wasn't in a training camp, I'd be working. When I had a training camp, when I had a fight date, I say, right, I'm fighting September. Now I can, like, it'd be a struggle in terms of try and get some sponsorship to ease my lessons so I can concentrate more on training than working. Then when I had my fight, obviously no sponsorship money, I have to work more, and that means I can train less.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to be in a full training camp when you got to work as well.
Are you done now with fighting?
Yeah. I would have been retired 3 years come October.
Cool. And how like, do you miss the sport firstly?
Crazy.
Yeah. Like,
I struggled for probably the last year, 6 to 9 months. I'm okay with it. The first year and a half was hard. I literally probably woke up nearly crying one morning because I'd never fight again. Yeah. You know, and the amount of times I thought about making a comeback, work-wise, thinking about money. Well, you know, if I have another fight, I can make some money that way. But the day I retired, my teaching at the gym, my lessons went up. I was making more money teaching than I ever have in my life. So I thought, if I was to fight, I wouldn't get paid that much. I'd lose. But now I'm at one with it now. I'm happy. Yeah, well, it's good to hear. I'd love to do it all over again. Yeah, I'm sure. I literally would. Like I said, I touched on like how the gym had such an amazing buzz. Yeah. Back then, I would love them times too. I know. I remember it well. Definitely, when I look back, I would have loved to have dedicated myself to a sport for sure. I really regret not doing that because, like, at the age we're at now, like, let's face it, we're past our physical best, right? Yeah, unfortunately we are. Yeah, well, that's what leads me into a different direction now of, like, this mindset journey. Like, physically, I can't do too much more, you know? I'm in good shape, I'm healthy. So it's like, well, how can I improve my life outside of that Yeah,
area.
by using our minds more rather than our physical.
Yeah, it's harder to train your mind than it is your. I love training the physical body. It's brilliant. You get what you fucking deserve in the mirror. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a straight shootout, right? It's like if you're disciplined with your food and you train, you will look good and you'll feel good.
You'll get this.
I like that because there's certainty in it. But the best things in life, I think, are behind a lot of uncertainty. Yeah. So it's like if I said to you, what are you going to do for the next 20 years? And if you throw that question back at me, I'm like, fuck knows.
Yeah. You can't answer it.
No,
it's hard. It's a very hard question.
It's really hard, but let's try and tackle it.
So what would I do for the next 20 years?
Yeah, do you have a plan? And there's a couple of reasons why I don't, but I'll let you shoot on this one first.
Well, again, yeah, there's the answer. Again, this is where I struggled when I retired from boxing. And I remember Matty Evans saying to me this. He said to me, when you retire, you lose your identity. And I did, because I'm no longer Troy James the boxer. Yeah. I'm just Troy now. So I'm just like, okay. And I was lost for a while. I was just like, I didn't know what to do with myself. Yeah. I genuinely didn't. Obviously, I worked at the gym. But then I'm thinking, I'm not a boxer anymore. I'll become a boxing coach. But then I'm thinking I'm getting older, like you just said, we're getting older. He wants to train with an older coach. So, and I'm actually leaving the gym. Because it's hard doing the PTs, doing the one-on-ones with a family, mortgage to pay. Okay. So I'm actually going into another line of work.
What are you doing?
I'm going to become a drainage surveyor. Okay. So one of the lads that I trained, become a good friend, Ryan Pearson, he's got me a job.
So 9 to 5, right?
Well, it's more like a 6 till 6, but hopefully if he's watching this, Ryan, give me some good hours, mate. Yeah. So you'll have fixed times where you're working, fixed times where you can be a family man, right? Yeah. So little things like when I come home at night, we can, rather than like the gym, you come home, then you go back out. Yeah. 5 till 9. Now going from work, sit down, have dinner with the family, and not have to go back out. Was that transition difficult? I haven't started yet. But I mean mentally. Yeah, I've been at the gym for 17 years, so it was. But at the same time, no, because the uncertainty of PTing, having a good week, sound, having a bad week, bad. Your bills, you don't know if your bill's going to be paid. You don't know who's booking in. So for me, the peace of mind of knowing my bills will be paid each month, that's a massive thing for me. Yeah, it's a big thing for a lot of people, I think. Especially with how the world is today. Yeah, and you've got kids. Yeah. Security is a strange thing for me. Like, I do like it, but it offers an air of predictability that I don't always like. In what way? So, for example, I used to work at Tesco before, and I stayed there for 5 years, right? But I knew exactly the pennies that were going to be in my account. Yeah. So that was the value that I had. I love security. Yeah. But part of me was like, I think I might be able to or want to do something else. Yeah. And that something else required me losing that security. So the PT game. Yeah. Well, I think I got down to one stage of like 60 quid in the bank, and I had to take a cleaning job on top of that. It was horrendous, man. Wow. And I'm glad I stuck with it because it's produced. But I'm almost back there now at a higher level. So I'm like, how am I going to make money now? I've sold the gym. Yeah. But there's a certainty in you, I think, when we get to our age, that you kind of have a bit of faith that you might figure something out. Don't know whether you feel like that. But I'm like, I don't know the answers, by the way, but I'm like, I will. You've hit the nail on the head there. You're like, I don't know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do it, but I'll do it. I'll do something. I will do it. Yeah. So I'm one of them people, I've had so many ideas in the past. Yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I don't do anything. But I think, I've never really wanted my own gym. It's something I've never really wanted. I thought about it maybe a year ago. But I just think I'm a simple man. I don't ask for a lot. Go work, get paid, pay my bills. Yeah, I'd like a lot of money. But as long as everything's paid, I'm happy with that. Mm. I think that's cool though. That, like, if you know that about yourself, yeah. I think there's a lot of pain in wanting to be something else. Yeah. If you're not, yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's not a question of ambition. It's knowing yourself. I guess the difficulty would be knowing whether that's limitations you've placed on yourself. Like, have you reached this point and you're like, I'm really cool with who I am, or do you reach that point and go, I'm tired, I want security, I'm going to give up on chasing the bigger things in life? No, the first one I think. I've never really chased a lot. The only thing I did chase was the British title. That's all I wanted. In terms of outside and work life, I haven't really chased anything. I haven't really, like I say, I'm just happy to get up, go work, come home. As long as my family's happy, that my bills are paid, and the kids are all right. I'm happy. I'm happy with that.
Well, that's class, mate, if you know that about yourself. It's weird, isn't it, how we view people differently. So I look at you, who steps in with Luke Campbell, I'm like, this guy's got fucking balls of steel first.
Or he's just silly.
No, I don't see it like that. Like, there's a good argument of that, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, anyone who's... Well, to step in, especially... And I keep using Luke Campbell because I think he's ferocious. And to step in with him on a day's notice, it's kind of stupid, yeah.
Yeah, it's very silly.
But let's push that to the side for a minute. It takes balls, right? Well, it takes balls to step into a boxing
100%. To get in a boxing ring takes a lot of balls.
Even a boxing gym. I remember the first time going into Red Corner, terrified, man.
Scary place.
Glenn's the first person I meet. He's like, put the gloves on, kid.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Not with you.
So it all levels courage. I guess what I'm saying is, like, I could look at you and go, like, you can take punishment. You've got courage. Like, you're a boxer, you're a fighter, like, you can survive anything.
Yeah.
So I know that you've got a skill set inside you and inner desire that's fucking tough, man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you can transfer that to any area of your life, right?
Exactly. And again, I'm going to bring up Tony Summers. I speak to him. I train him on a Friday, and we always speak. Such a wise man with wise words. And he said the same thing. He said, look what you've done in boxing. Look what you've withstood. Exactly what you just said then. If you take that and put that into anything else you want, you can achieve what you want. You really can.
Yeah, I think so. Although, let me push back on that one. When anyone says to me now you can achieve what you want, I'm like, hold on, there's things I can't achieve.
Yeah.
Like, so if I said to you now, Troy, I'm going to step into the ring, I want to become a professional boxer, man. I've got a few years in the tank.
Yeah.
I can do it. And it don't matter how much I believe it or how hard I work. You probably know the fact is, Alex, you ain't going to make a professional boxer.
Well,
or if you do, you're going to get smashed
yeah.
the foot.
Yeah.
Because you're just starting in your 38.
Yeah.
So you kind of know, right?
Yeah, there's limitations.
Of course there is. But I tell you what isn't a limitation, and that's how I apply myself. So that's where all regret lives for me. It's not the outcome.
Yeah.
It's the fact, like you say, you look back and you start to question yourself. You start to say, well, why didn't I stay in shape there?
Yeah.
Why did I treat this person like that? Why didn't I do my best in that area? Why didn't I give a real go in that area?
Yes.
That always comes back to haunt me more than outcome. Always.
Yeah. And same.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
But I think that's life.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't know many people that look back and go, yeah, I gave my best all the fucking time.
And I'm happy with it.
Yeah, and I'm really happy.
Definitely.
I don't even know what my best is. I haven't seen it yet, I don't think.
No, I don't believe I have. And that's what I said with being in shape all year round. That's exactly what I meant, because I did all right going to spar these guys. Yeah, they beat me up, to be fair, but they never had the real me.
Yeah.
They never had the real me. I don't even know the real me when it comes to boxing.
Yeah, it's a scary thought. Like, can you imagine, like, you peak condition, 12-week training camp,
but
away fully mentally,
but being in shape all year round.
What could that Troy have done?
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Of course. I know there's no use in that either, but I think it's always juicy to flirt with that, to think back.
Yeah,
I always do that. I always think, if I was 21 again.
Oh, God, don't.
Do you know what I mean? If I'd have started putting my money aside each week now into a compound fucking interesting, I'd have been sorted by now. I do all this all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it stops me moving on as well, because I'm like, I always use that I'm too old thing. Like, I want to do psychology degree.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It takes 3 or 4 years.
Is that how long it takes?
So I'm like, well, I'll be 41 by the time I'm done. But I've been thinking like this for like 3 or 4 years.
So if you would have done it when you would have done it.
I'd have done
That's
it,
the
mate.
thing. So someone said that to me. Well, it wasn't to me, but that's the thing that people say. I'm going to do that, but it takes this many years. By the time you've actually thought about it, you could have done it. So it's just, also, I think sometimes just acting on your thoughts.
Yeah, I haven't learnt, like we said at the start, I clearly haven't learnt my lesson. Otherwise, I'd have done it. The future's a weird thing, though. It doesn't feel real. Like, can you imagine being 80?
Definitely not.
No,
I don't.
But it's going to happen if you make it that far. If not, then you've got less time than you thought. So the outcome's the same.
Yeah.
You've got to move along.
I think you've just got... I don't know. I'm one of them, I think. If you want to do something, do it.
Yeah. But I think there's a lot of things in us that hold us back. Like fear, uncertainty.
Yeah. Failure.
I think not putting enough attention on the fact that we're not going to be here forever. People always get freaked out by this death thing. I'm like, I think it's exactly where you should be focusing. Because if I know that I've only got, and I don't know, let's just say I assume I've got 40 years left, but I really know it. I really know it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to move fast.
Yeah, yeah.
But I kind of don't think I'm going to die yet.
So you're taking your time?
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna be an old man walking around with a stick and a fucking Zimmer frame, am I? Actually, you fucking are, Alex.
You are.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, if we're lucky enough.
If we're lucky enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's just say I'm not lucky enough and I only get to 45, then I really should be hurrying the fuck up.
Yeah.
So either hurry up.
But then it's like, you know, the old thing on life, the way you look at it, you know, it's about enjoying life as well. And not just striving to be something. Just sometimes I think just living in the moment. And not living in the moment, that sounds really corny, but like enjoying life a little bit. You know, like I have kids and like mine and my wife, our life is just so hectic in terms of, right, get up, go work, come home, clean the house, do this, do that, do it. There's no time to actually stop, relax and enjoy a bit of time and, time together, you know, as a family. You know, because we're always constantly, you go work, she comes in, I go back out, we come home, go to bed, get up, do it all again.
Someone, I can't remember who it was I was speaking to, said to me, but Alex, they're the things in life that you need to learn to enjoy, not look for things to enjoy, because life with kids comes with these conditions, comes with chaos.
Yeah, 100%.
Comes with doing the uniforms, comes with doing the washing, comes with doing not spending loads of quality time with your missus. And when he said it like that, it kind of made sense. He was like, can you learn to enjoy all those little things?
Yeah, try and enjoy them.
You might think you need to get away from to enjoy life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not enjoying the ironing that much.
Do
you know what I mean?
I've got an ironing board. I haven't even got an iron. I haven't got a washing machine.
Oh, dear. You go to the laundrette?
A little bit. I'll explain what happens from my washing later. I don't want to sound like a mummy's boy. But the thing is, mate, I can't bear to waste my life doing. I know, like, people will go, well, you have to do wash. I can't bear to use my hours up.
Yeah.
I'll get away with it as long as I can.
Well, you're doing all right by the sound of it.
I think so.
I wish you could give me some tips after this so I can start enjoying my life a bit more.
Honestly, mate, I'm like, I know you have to do these tasks, but whatever I can get away with. As long as my house is clean and tidy, I'm all right.
You got to clean it.
But I'm not. No. It's called mum. I'm not doing the ironing and shit. But like, when you say about enjoying life, like, did you get enjoyment from the grit and grind of boxing? So, like, although, like, from an outsider's point of view, sacrifice and discipline might sound like it's, you know, a penalty, but for me, there's real enjoyment in the growth of discipline. I like who I am when I'm disciplined.
Yeah, my life when I boxed, when I was in training camp, when I boxed, I had discipline. I had order in my life. I would eat better, eat well. I would go to bed early. I would get up early. I would go training on time. I'd do this, I'd do that. The minute the fight had happened, it's right, son, you eat what you want. Even though I couldn't, I did. Eat what you want. Go to bed when you want. Get up when you want. There was no order. And that made me a little bit chaotic.
Yeah.
So when I was in training, I had a regimen. It was like everything just worked better. So with that, there was just more order. And obviously then when I retired, I wouldn't say I went off the rails, but like, it's like, I can have a drink at a weekend now. With a bit of drink comes bad food. Then late nights, you know, getting up in the morning with a fuzzy head.
Yeah.
Not as much training, you know. Not feeling as clear as I did when I fought.
Yeah, I get it. So when we say what's a happier life, I don't like that question, because I'm quite happy when I'm eating pizza and I've got beer. Like, I genuinely am.
Yeah.
I'm like, life's too short, you know, fuck it, enjoy it. And I'm drinking a few beers.
Yeah.
And I'm eating my big pizza and I'm fucking happy, mate.
Yeah.
Right then.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I believe you.
Loving life. But, like, I'm a better person when I'm disciplined.
Yeah.
I'm nicer, kinder.
Yep.
I feel better.
Yeah.
Although it's weird, like, happiness is in that pizza for that moment.
Yeah.
I know
but
I'm a better man.
You work better as well.
Everything's
better. A person, your mind's clearer. Everything, for me, things get done that need to get done.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not eating good and not drinking as much, you're not sleeping as much, then I'll do it tomorrow. Do that tomorrow, do that later. And it doesn't get done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. When you were describing that, going to bed early, getting up early, training, eating. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want, man.
Yeah.
Excites me, that does.
Yeah.
I think it excites me, one, because like I say, it represents a bit of respect in my life. Because I've suffered with that before. I haven't respected myself that much. You know, when you're drinking and you're eating crap,
Yeah.
it's kind of like half of you loves it because it's tasty.
Yeah.
And half of you's in the back of your mind going, you're just treating yourself like shit.
Well,
Like I hate looking in the mirror with
yeah,
that fat
well,
belly, man.
like you say, at the time it feels good,
Mm.
but the next day and a few weeks later, you don't feel good. We don't feel good.
No.
It doesn't make you feel good. At the time, well, that tastes beautiful. That beer's not. Oh, I feel good.
But even that
Obviously,
wears off, don't you think?
it wears off because
Yeah.
then you're like, I'm not even enjoying this anymore.
That's the worst part. You know, when you get to the pizza or the beer and you're
Yeah.
like, the
It's
fun's
just,
yeah.
it's not the same.
Yeah, I'm covering something up here.
Because when you do it every once in a while, let's say, if we deserve it, it feels better, it tastes better.
Mm.
When you do it all the time, what's the word of it? It wears off, the novelty,
Yeah, sure.
if you like. You know, where if you're eating clean and every couple of weeks, I have a little piece or a couple of beers, it feels good, it tastes better. Yeah, every day, or every week, it's not as nice.
Yeah. So that warrior spirit that you've got in you, mate, that fighting spirit, does that now show up as dad and husband? Like, because I'm guessing there's times where like that's a real battle, like just keeping it together, keeping sane, doing the best for them. Like, surely because that spirit in you won't have just left your body,
No,
right?
it's still there, and it's hard in my house. I had a little joke with my wife earlier, and she was like, "You're gonna mention the madhouse, aren't you?" My house is a madhouse.
Yeah, I'm sure, man. I mean, how many kids you have?
4.
Yeah, of course. What the age is the kids?
22,
22.
15.
Wow.
12, and 10.
Yeah.
12 and 10.
Noisy then, yeah.
Very noisy, very argumentative. No one listens.
Yeah.
So it's hard. So yeah, it's trying. But do I put it into that? I don't know. Like with the way my work is and was, it's hard. You know, obviously I'm out a lot of the time. My wife works, so she deals with them after school, but she does more than me. So it's more on her. But yeah, it is hard.
I'm sure it is, man. I'm sure it is.
And especially when you've got like teenagers and anti your back, so it is trying.
Yeah. You excited about this new chapter?
Yes, very excited.
Yeah. Is there relief in there as well?
A massive part of relief. So I haven't even started the job, but like when the minute they said the job offer came through, it was like a weight got lifted off my shoulders straight away.
Yeah.
So I think there can be a lot of pressure on people, if you want to say men in general, if you want to say that, you know, to provide a little bit. And if you're not doing that, it puts a lot of, you know, pressure on a man.
I think men are judged sometimes by their successions and their outcomes, because it's less accepted for a man just to be a dad, right? I think so anyway.
Yeah.
So I think, well, how do you judge a man, like, traditionally? Usually, like, one of the first questions is, what does he do for a living?
Yeah.
That's usually the first question.
Yeah, of course it is.
We never really delve into, like, what's this guy like?
Yeah.
So character for me, and I'm not saying this is the right way around, it seems to always come secondary to their achievements in life.
Yeah.
Like, it must happen to you all the time. Troy James, the boxer,
Yeah.
steps in the ring with Luke Campbell. All this that we're talking about now, but it's like, well, underneath that boxer, like,
there's me.
There's Troy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what going back to what Mike said. When you retire, you lose that identity. So I think now people are starting to refer to me as Troy. Where, like, let's say, for instance, if I'm out and about 3 years ago when I was boxing, Troy the boxer. I was labelled that.
You were. To be fair, when your name's mentioned, like, obviously I've had interactions with you. You were my coach for a long time, so I know you differently. But I think father, like, when I hear your name, because you always got pictures with your kids.
Yeah.
So there's that. So it's not one dimensional.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, mate, how you think about yourself versus
however people perceive you.
Yeah, me and you will have a completely different idea of what. So what I think you think about me will be completely different.
Yeah.
And what you think I think about you will be completely different too.
Yeah,
it's never the fucking same.
It's never the same, yeah.
And you get some people that overshoot that and think everyone looks at them and thinks they're God's gift.
Yes.
And then you get the opposite.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So not everyone will identify you as a I bet Tony doesn't, and Matty and Glenn.
No, definitely
They'll love you as Troy, right?
Yeah. I hope so.
No, yeah, I know those guys well. They will. It just happens that you're a boxer.
Yeah.
It's very different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So maybe that's something in our own heads that we do. We think everyone identifies us as that.
A certain way, yeah.
Yeah. So what have you done with that identity now then? Like, who are you now?
Like I say, just Troy, the dad, the father, now a husband. You know what I mean? So, normal guy. Get up and go work, have a few beers on a weekend, chill with my friends.
Sounds alright, mate.
It's a nice, steady life.
Sounds good. When are you 40?
Next year.
What are you going to do for your 40th?
Don't know, hopefully the wife's going to take me to Vegas.
Oh, I just got back from Vegas.
Have you?
Yeah.
I want to go to a big boxing match.
Oh, do you? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't do any of that.
You just went and partied.
Yeah, casinos.
Oh,
beer.
mate.
What I like to do with my life is be disciplined for, like, basically the opposite way to, like, a little bit like a training camp where I, like, do a few months of good habits and routine, and then just for a week or a weekend I like to have a bit of a, kick the discipline to the side, go and party and enjoy.
What's the word? Moderation, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm still not very good at that because, like, I wouldn't say Vegas was moderation.
No, you went hard, didn't you? But if you
hard for me now, not hard compared to what what some do or what would have been hard for me 10 years ago. But I had beers and not a vegetable for a week.
Yeah, well, you're in Vegas.
That's how I saw it.
You gotta let your head down, ain't you?
Yeah, but I tell you what, mate, I loved it. I couldn't wait to get back to my little house in Stratford.
Yeah.
So I could go to Starbucks, read for an hour,
and
write for an hour.
Get back to, what's the word? Normality. Routine.
Yeah, not even just back to things that actually make me feel good.
Yeah.
Mate, my goals have never been so unambitious. But I feel probably, I don't like the word happy, but I felt all right. I feel all right at the minute.
You feel good.
For the first time.
I mean,
ever.
for me, that's what I'm a simple, like I say, I don't really have any goals.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a bad thing.
Well, I don't know. 6 months ago, I said, Troy, what the fuck you doing, man?
Yeah.
Get some goals behind you.
Yeah. Like,
now I'm like, have I been getting this wrong all the time? I met Jeff the other day and he was like, it's not about goals, Alex. It's about waking up every day and listening to the voice inside your head. You know how Jeff takes things.
Yeah.
And I'm finally starting to think, Tony doesn't have goals. It used to drive me mad. I was like, Tony, fucking come on, man. Now I'm like, Tony's onto something. That's how he's so chilled all the time.
Yeah, he is one chilled man.
He's so chilled.
He is the chillest guy.
He used to drive me insane, mate. Now I'm like, I want to be around him.
Yeah.
Same with Matty.
It's the vibe you get off them guys is nice. It's chilled. It's calm.
But you're starting to display it as well. I feel it.
Yeah, I'm.
And that
like
mad?
I say,
like
yeah,
you go from that fight out, once that bout to now you're like, do you know what, I'm on cool,
I just want to chill. Like, I don't want chaos. Yeah, my house is chaos, but at the same time it's calm, because there's although it is chaotic, it's a happy house.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a calm house. A happy house is a calm. It's not always a happy house, you know, kids arguing, but it is a happy house.
Yeah. But you swing too far the other way. Like I really don't think any of us should chase an easy life, because easy life might mean, right, kids, go away, move out, so I don't have to see you or deal with you.
Yeah.
That would be easier, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All these things that we would like to remove to make our life easier are actually the things that we love.
Yeah,
care about.
All day long.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, all day long.
So I was doing a lot of work on this. It was like, okay, Alex, like, you want an anxiety-free life? Never do anything that makes you feel uncomfortable ever again.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to be free of fear? Never challenge yourself ever again.
Yeah.
You want to be free of betrayal? Never love anyone again.
Yeah. And you can't. I personally don't think you can have a life without any of that.
You can, but fucking it's going to be boring and dull as fuck. Lock yourself in your house, put on Netflix, and camp there for the next 40 years.
No, that's no good.
No.
That's no good for nobody.
Because anything I've wanted to learn, for example, so like this interview with you today, like, I love learning stuff, and learning comes from self-doubt for me. So like, if I'm curious but unsure about things, I like to learn about them. So I'm like, well, what the fuck makes a guy step in a ring and fight? Like, that's crazy. Like, there's uncertainty. Like, what drives you? What's life about? So I'm like, well, the only way I can fill that gap of self-doubt is through knowledge.
Yeah.
So that drives this podcast.
Yeah.
That's why I love, like I said to you before we came on air, this don't make me any money. In
That's amazing.
fact, like I say, it loses me money. I'm paying for the studio.
Yeah.
I fucking love it, man.
That's amazing that you do this as well.
See, I don't see it as amazing.
Well, I genuinely do.
Like, I like being on this side of the table, and I like putting the limelight on you.
Yeah.
And like, teach me some shit, Troy. Like teach me what life's about.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Because there's lessons from everyone.
I believe so.
Definitely.
I think if you can't listen and learn something off everybody, then there's something wrong, because that's one thing I learned about boxing as well. No matter how good somebody was, to an extent, if you're going to spar somebody, you can always learn something. Don't, just because you are a better fighter than them doesn't mean you can't go in there, practice something and learn something from them.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate.
And in life in general.
1000%. I think that's so true. The best part about boxing, do you know why I'd love to be a boxer for a day? Is so I could do a ring walk.
Oh, mate. The ring walk was sometimes the best bit and sometimes not. Waiting in the changing rooms, like nerve-wise, I handle my nerves so well. You ask Glenn, you ask Tony, Matty, they've been in the changing room with me, and I'm chilled. I'm so literally, I'd lie down, get my head down, fall asleep, get back up.
Fall asleep?
Yeah, literally, I'd go sleep. I'd just put my coat under my head, fall asleep, chill, get up, warm up, and then like walk into the ring. Obviously, some ring walks are short, some are long, you know, and they're good. Like they're the memories that you won't forget. People shouting your name. Okay, I didn't have many people shout my name, but there was a few. And they're amazing times.
Yeah, I always wonder if that's the addictive part. Like you literally had like Coventry in your corner.
For me, like I don't know. I say the fight. I love fighting, and I'm not a fighting man outside of a boxing ring.
Yeah.
I've never had a fight in my life. Couldn't fight sleep. But I love fighting. I love being in that ring, and getting your hand raised at the end of it was just so addictive.
I think you were the first person to make me question like how someone so nice could want to knock someone out.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, I couldn't do the maths on it. I was like, and I still can't. I'm like, here's Troy. And whenever you mention your name, everyone always says what a nice guy he is.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
that's
gentle
nice.
guy. Yeah, but it's true. Like I'm not, you know. And although you could spark me out at any moment you want, I'm not just saying these things to make you feel better. It's true. Everyone, and I always think that. Yeah, that was a reason why I come and trained with you, because I was like, I had a not so good experience before you. I don't know if you remember. So I was like, well, I want to find a coach who makes me a better boxer, but also like looks after me a little bit. I don't want to get broken ribs again. Do you know what I mean? So like that was one of the first things. But then I thought, well, yeah, how does this nice guy like all of a sudden like try and punch people unconscious for?
I don't really know, to be fair. I don't even know the answer to that myself. I genuinely don't, because like I say, I've never had a fight outside of a boxing ring. I hate fighting. I hate violence. You know, I'd walk away from a fight before I got in a fight. You know, I just don't like it. But put me in a boxing ring, I'll fight or spar anybody. Literally.
I think there's rules and regulations in sports that make sports really great.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it is controlled environment.
Yeah, it's controlled.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So it feels fair.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not like a street fight. Although I remember, mate, I remember the first time I put someone down, and the lad wasn't as experienced as me, so it was unfair. I was bigger than him. I had a longer reach, but we were kind of like colleagues. I put him on his ass. God, it felt good.
Yeah.
Fucking.
It's the best feeling in the world.
Amazing, and he was a lovely lad as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So part of me should have been finished. I
a bit
feel one bit sorry for him. I wanted him to get back up so I could put back down again.
When you drop someone with a headshot or a body shot, more so a body shot, again, it's just like, and you know you've hurt them, but you kind of like, just for that minute, don't care.
No, you don't. I don't feel any of their pain.
You know, it's just like, yes.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's weird though, because when I sparred Glenn, I was hoping that he'd feel my pain and go easy on me. Yeah. And he didn't. But then when it was me putting on someone else, I didn't feel their pain either.
Well, that was like when I fought Luke Campbell. I remember someone shouting, "Troy, think of your kids," and I just thought for that moment maybe he would have heard that and went a little bit easy on me. You know, I'm in there doing this job for my kids, and he just come out with a 3-punch combination, took my head off. I was like, nice one, mate.
Because he's got his kids as well.
He's got his kids to think about.
So he don't give a fuck.
He don't give a fuck. Yeah.
That's what I mean. I've seen how people can be. Well, Glenn's a great example. Beautiful guy, right? Outside the ring. Get him inside the ring.
I've never seen anybody in all my life, and I'm talking in boxing, the amount of people I've sparred over the years, been in a ring with. Because he always said, right, I'm nice as pie outside this ring. Get in that ring, he said, I'm going to change, right? And he did that, I'm going to change. Yeah. So when I first seen him spar, he got through the ropes, and he literally...
Yeah.
I was like, he's just changed.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it. He battered whoever he was in there, got back out. It took him a couple of minutes to then change back to Glenn.
Yeah.
But then he did change. I'm like, wow, that's scary.
Yeah.
That is scary.
Yeah, man.
I think there's like, I've never seen anyone do that. So there's borderline something going on there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. When I was preparing to do the charity fight, I was with Matty, and Matty at that stage was taking it easy on me, And anyway, all of a sudden, Glenn literally sprints from behind the counter into the ring. I was like, oh, fucking hell. He said, Alex, we'll have a little play before the main event.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. He might try and help me out here. Yeah, because in my head I thought, we'll put on a good show, a bit like a rock, a bit of a play.
Yeah.
I'll punch you,
exhibition,
you punch me.
Bit of an exhibition, yeah.
We'll chase each other around the ring.
Yeah.
Anyway, he straps on like these 8 to 10 ounce gloves.
Savage.
And I've got my 16s on, and Matty said, Glenn, they're only like 10s. It's like, oh, that'll be all right.
That's
ding,
exactly what he would say as well.
Ding, ding. Boom. Fuck, mate, I had to eat out of a straw for 3 days. 3 days, yeah. Just like, that look in his eye, just boom. But then after, see you later, Alex.
Yeah.
See you next week, mate.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't like to say, I've never seen anyone do it. He literally, it's like something takes over him.
But I spoke to him last week about, we were talking about angels and stuff. So he's the kind of guy I'll go to speak about really in-depth, complicated spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
Like Glenn is someone that I would speak to at any point.
But he's still got that now.
Sure.
He's still like, as a fighter, it doesn't leave. Like I coach in a couple of fighters and I watch them spar. I'm in there thinking, battle the pair of you.
Sure. But if you think about it this way, this is how I think about it. I would trust a man like that more, who's got that killer instinct, who can control it in the ring more than just some guy who has that running throughout his life.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I know that, like, if you step in the ring with me, Troy, I'm gonna do my best.
Yeah.
But outside the ring, we're cool.
Yeah.
I like that because you know the rules.
Yeah. There's where you stand.
You know where you stand. And Glenn's like that too. Like, if you want to spar me, this is how I play the game.
Yeah.
Outside the ring, me and you will hug and we're friends.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Like I say, you know where you stand.
Yeah.
I like to be around people like that as well, and I don't like to be around people who are the opposite way to that.
Absolutely. Who influences you now then? So obviously, like, you've had these great coaches. Is there anyone in your life through the art of books, YouTube videos that you pay attention to? Any Jordan Peterson style figures in your life that you listen to?
I'm gonna sound really boring here, but no. Okay. I'm not big into reading.
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of YouTube stuff or anything like that. So nah. I'm just little old me, my family. I'm not looking up to nobody.
Yeah.
I'm not aspiring to be anything.
No, mate, it's so fucking refreshing to hear, man. I think, like I say, you'll be teaching me today, because that's what I'm working on now. Like, being okay with that.
Yeah.
It's nice. I think having something to prove all the time gets so tiring, man.
Yeah, if you're trying to...
I've
got nothing to prove to nobody.
Well, that's good, mate.
I've got nothing to prove to nobody, so, I'm happy with my life.
Cool.
I'm not looking up to nobody. I don't want to be as good as that person. I don't want to be better than that person. As long as I'm better than I am last year, last week, last month.
Yesterday.
I'm all right. Yesterday, yeah, I'm all right.
Would you say you've put the boxing game to bed now then? Like, the resentment that you spoke of earlier, is that gone? Is that done?
Yeah.
Are you moving on to the next chapter now?
Yeah. It's been put to bed. And I think only the last couple... Obviously, like I say, it's coming up to my 3rd year of being retired. So that's when, like, a few of the memories pop up on Facebook, and the memories come back around, and they bring a few feelings back. But they say time's a great healer, and the first year, the memories were... God, I wish I could do that. 2nd year, they get a little bit. This year, I'm all right with it.
Yeah,
my life's improved. We bought our first house. We've been married. We got 4 healthy kids. Life's good.
Yeah,
life's good. I'm about to start a new job, and a little bit of pressure will be eased off the shoulders. So,
cool, man. Well, hopefully you can look back with pride now, mate. I know. Doing my research, I was like really excited to speak to you about your experiences, and I look at it purely from look at what he's achieved. Do you know what I mean? It's never to do with, I'm interviewing him, but he didn't quite win that bout.
Yeah.
It's never about that.
Like, again, I'm just keep talking about Tony, but like, I always talk Tony, and it's easy to, I never did this, and I never did that, but look what he did do.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Said it to Glenn as well. He goes, look what you did. You can look back and hold your head up, and I think once you're out of the game, out of that, like, not doing it anymore, I look back and say, I did do that.
Yeah.
I did fight for a British and Commonwealth title. Okay, I'll come up short, but I still fought for it. Still got to that level. Still won a Midlands title, you know. Still fought Luke Campbell, Leon Walsh, and, you know, so I still been in with them good people. So I can look back and hold my head up high, and I do.
Good, mate. And I reckon if you'd have won that bout, you'd probably move the goalposts and eyed up the next thing anyway. And said, well, my career would have been even better if I'd have won that bout. If I would have done that. Yeah, that people do that all the time in life.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would have, because that would have been my that would have been everything. That would have been everything. I believed when I started boxing I could win a British title. I never thought I'd be a world champion. I never ever said I'd be a world champion. I never said I'd be a European. I believed I could have become British champion, and I fought for it, came up short, but...
Yeah, but who knows where your belief system would have gone if you'd have cleaned that guy out and won that
Yeah,
bout.
You never know, do you?
You'd have probably gone, well, maybe I can go to the next level.
Yeah, you probably could have.
Probably. That's what I mean. That's life. I think life just, mate, it's just part of the deal. Unless you're willing to accept it comes with disappointments, then stop playing the game. Do you know what I mean? But, so a couple of more questions then, mate, before we wrap up. The next one is like, although I think we've covered most of this. Yeah, what is next for you? So let's assume you move into this role, this new job. You got the kids. Is there anything in there that's like burning away at you to try, test, live, places to visit? What would be on the excitement bucket list for you?
There's nothing really exciting for me. Obviously with COVID, we haven't been away a lot, and we have a big family. There's obviously 7 of us live in our household. The oldest lad's girlfriend lives with us. My little girl just turned 10. She hasn't even got a passport. So the first thing we're going to do next year is take my kids on holiday.
Nice, mate. Where are you going?
We don't know yet. We're going to book it in January. But
UK or?
I know, abroad.
Nice.
I want to take the kids on a plane. The two younger boys have been with when they were like 2 years and 6 months old, so I don't even remember.
Wow.
But I want to get them abroad.
Nice.
Nice family holiday, all inclusive. That's my number one goal.
That'll be awesome, mate. Better get the overtime in.
Definitely, mate. I've got it lined up.
Good lad. And then final question. This is a bit of a thinker for a lot of people. What do you need to work on now in order to become a better person?
That's a hard one.
I know, mate. Better Man podcast. I always have to ask this question.
Yeah, for me, I don't know about being a better person. I just want to make sure I carry on trying to become a better dad, a better husband.
What's that look
like? Probably spending a little bit more time with my kids.
Okay.
Doing more things with them, you know, rather than getting home after work on a Saturday and just, if the weather's no good, lounging around the house, letting them chill out on their iPads, trying to do more things with them, taking them out. Yeah. Just a little bit more like that.
Yeah, mate. I think it's learning how to be present. I've tried this really hard with my mum and dad, but like when I'm with them now, it's phone off. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not working on the side. Yeah. Stuff like that. Because I think the quality of the time is more important than the quantity. Yeah, of course. So like if you're a grafter, like you have to leave the house and go and work, right? Yeah. But those 2 hours in the evening?
Yeah. Just, you know, rather than go upstairs and watch your telly, just, like you say, a little bit more present with the kids. That's what I want to do.
Cool. Mate, it's been a pleasure. It's been
thank you very much for having me.
It's been good to reconnect. Like I said, I haven't spoke to you, although...
It's been a few years.
It has been, mate. You're one of these guys that I could not see you for 5 years, but when I do, I'm just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So, and thanks for teaching me how to throw some punches.
You're very welcome, mate.
Between you, Matty, and Glenn and Tony,
You know where I am if you ever need a little extra session.
Mate, I can't, I miss the atmosphere, and like you spoke about, I do miss that.
Great gym.
Yeah.
Great gym.
Apart from the parking, it's one of the best ever.
Yeah.
I used to go around that, that square. Yeah. Around the shops.
Mate, I live 2 minutes down the road. Yeah. And I still drive.
Oh, man.
Right? It takes me longer sometimes to find a parking space than if I just walked up.
I know.
That's how lazy I am.
Yeah, that is bad. Pretty bad.
Yeah.
But, mate, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
That's cool.
Wicked, mate.
Mate, well done, man.
Thank you, mate.
You're very good, mate.